going to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Erasmo Villarreal. Jorge Dominguez.
Present.
Mike Baron. Abraham Lugo.
Present.
Johnny Narvaez.
Present.
Yushin Wang.
Here.
Larry Dovalina.
Here.
Daniela Sada Paz.
Here.
Ana Villarreal.
Here.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, we do have quorum.
For the record, Mr. Villarreal called that he was going to be absent and asked to be excused. So I have a motion to excuse
So moved.
Mr. Villarreal and the commissioner that didn't show up today. Go ahead and hear a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you all rise for the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item agenda number 3, number 4, consider approval of minutes. A motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Navarro, do we have any citizen comments?
Mr. Chairman, no, we do not.
We don't. Okay, we're gonna go to, directly to, item number 6, public hearing recommendation of an ordinance. 6A, amended the zone ordinance map of the city of Laredo by amendment ordinance 2018-0-122, which authorizes a conditional use permit for a bar on Lot 2, Block 2, Lago del Mar, Unit Number 7, located at 2511 East Del Mar Boulevard, in order to remove USAU Sing Incorporated, Ling Ling Huang, owner, and ENF Entertainment Incorporated, Ernesto Treviño, and Bárbara del Bosque, applicant. Musa Bar and replaced with USAU Sing Incorporated, Ling Ling Huang, owner, and Tyson 8 Limited Liability Company, GG May, applicant. Havana Sports Bar as the parties to whom the permit is issued. Who's gonna do the presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Lily Huang, owner representative, and Tyson 8 LLC applicant. Property location, that we have it at Lot 2A, Block 2, Lago del Mar, located at 2511 East Del Mar Boulevard. Zone change request is an amendment transfer of a conditional use permit. Proposed use is a bar. Letter sent 16, and here we have 1 against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor? Anybody in favor? Approving it? Anybody against? Nothing heard. What are the wishes of the board?
Make a motion to close public hearing and support staff recommendation for the CUP.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I abstain.
For the record, Commissioner Henry is abstaining. Item 6B, public hearing recommendation of ordinance amending the City of Laredo Land Development Code Section 24-131 to adjust the rules governing the organization of the zoning board of adjustments in order to identify that quorum is formed by no less than 7 members, and 7 concurrent votes of the members of the board are required to reverse an administrative order or grant a variance as required by the Texas Local Government Code Sections 211.008D and 211.009C respectively.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, Vanessa Guerra, who's been working on this project, will explain what
Okay.
we're working on.
Okay.
tampoco se ve acá. Abajo.
Yeah, would you? It seems like it's a little bit on the slow side. All right. Great. Perfect. Okay, the purpose of the amendment is to align the land development code with the Texas Local Government Code, specifically sections 211.008D and 211.009C. Just as a reminder, the Board of Adjustment is comprised of 9 members. Next. Okay. This is a sort of a chart that I tried to encompass what the current land development code shows, state law requires, and what the proposed amendment is requiring. So the land development code currently identifies that quorum for the Board of Adjustment will be comprised of 5 members, and the vote will encompass 3/4 of the members present, rounding up, are required to grant a variance or to reverse an administrative order. So depending on attendance, your voting required will vary. However, if 5 members attend, if the lowest amount that is required under the code attend, then 4 concurring votes would be required in order to grant the variance. However, state law requires that for a Board of Adjustment, 75% of the members must comprise a quorum. So for our 9-member board, 75% would be 7 members. So that's where it's not an alignment. We show 5, really it shows 7. For the vote, also the Texas Local Government Code requires that 75% of the members of concurring votes of the members are required to grant a variance. Once again, 7 concurring votes would be required to grant a variance or reverse an order for our 9-member board. The proposed amendment will identify that the quorum will be comprised of 7 Board of Adjustment members, and that the vote will also be 7 concurring votes will be required in order to either grant a variance or reverse an administrative order. So what I've put in blue is the actual language from the code, and it shows what we're changing in the language of the Land Development Code. And so just a reminder, anything that's has a strike through is being removed, and anything that's underlined is being added. So the language will now read that a quorum is formed by no less than 7 members, and that middle sentence will be removed and be replaced by the quorum shall act by a motion in which no less than 7 concurring votes of the board are required to reverse the administrative decision or to grant a variance. Can you go to the next one? So, and then there's the proposed motion, either to approve or recommend denial of the amendment of the Land Development Code.
Okay. It seems that the amendment of the ordinance is to comply with state law?
Correct.
Okay. So,
How long have we had this ordinance on the books?
February of 2021.
Is that when it was passed?
Yes.
I think before that, the Board of Adjustments was composed of 5 people.
That's correct.
So how did you comply with the law?
Yeah, in February of 2021, they amended the code to reflect that previously, you're correct, it was a 5-member board with 4 alternates. But it seemed like the way that the board was running, they were just inviting all the members to come and participate. And when they were approached, the members stated that they did all want to participate. They didn't want to be alternates. So in February 2021, the code was amended to, instead of showing a 5-member board with 4 alternates, it'll be a 9-member board.
So in order to correct all the previous action that was illegal, did you pass a resolution at the city council saying that all of the previous actions for lack of compliance were changed?
Not yet.
not yet. We have not gotten that direction from,
So when we do the amendment, are you gonna go back and do that?
we hadn't gotten that direction from our legal department to go back and do that, and we had not,
Doesn't it make common
we had-
sense that you would do that?
we had not gone back and to review if any of the actions had been granted in opposition or in compliance with state law.
So anybody that had previous to this ordinance, been ruled inappropriately by the Board of Adjustments prior to that can actually challenge it in court according to state law. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. What would have happened is if they had gotten a variance, I guess, not in compliance with state law, that's what would have happened, because the upgraded requirements are to grant the variance or to reverse an administrative decision. So they would have simply gotten a variance that they probably shouldn't have gotten.
But we can definitely check with legal, and if that's the case, then yes, we would bring it to city council.
Who's in charge of legal now?
Let me go ahead and, this is a
Good question.
public hearing, let me go ahead and ask if anybody has comments or is in favor? Anybody in favor? Anybody against? Anybody has a comment? Okay, now, I made a little research myself, and I understand, Vanessa, that whatever was approved previous to us acknowledging that we need to comply with certain regulations or laws, unless it is contested by a third party, then whatever was approved stays approved. And whatever is from now, well, actually, we're just sending a recommendation to city council. It's up to them.
Correct.
So whatever, after city council approves and amends this ordinance, then that's when it starts actually applying to the board. Previous to that, unless somebody comes and say, you know what, I'm contesting this, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it before the state, that's when it starts. But for what it is right now, whatever was approved was approved. And now we know that we needed to comply, and that's what we're doing right now. Anybody else in the board has a
Mr.
question?
Chairman, I beg to differ with you.
Yes, sir.
In many areas, what you end up doing is, at the beginning of the year, you approve the amendments and the ordinances that are submitted to code. And by doing the resolution, you approve all previous action, whether illegal or legal. And I think it's something that needs to be considered. I'm not against the amendment, but I think you still have further action to take.
Sure.
I agree with you, Commissioner. I think that we should start by sending a recommendation whether to approve or not approve, and let the
We'll take the
department
comments.
start working on that. So
Yes.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public meeting, the public hearing, and ask for a motion to send the recommendation to city council. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay, the ayes have it. Now we're gonna go to agenda item number 8. It's a consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. 8A, preliminary, yes, ma'am.
I think we're on 7.
Oh, 7?
7A.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll go back to 7. Review and consideration of the following master plans. Review
Yes.
of the revision of the Pinnacle Industry Center Master Plan, intent industrial. The purpose of the revision is to realign streets and increase the acreage of the master plan by adding unit number 13. I apologize for that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is FM 1472 Investments, Engineer is Gilpin Engineering Company. Proposed use is industrial, and the zoning for this 80-lot development is AG, M1, and a portion is unzoned as it is currently outside the city limits. Location view. Aerial view. Propose the revision of the master plan. Comments from planning. Comments from water and utilities, traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Okay. On these items, is the engineer,
No, sir, he's not.
he's not here?
No.
Did you have any communication with them? Are they,
He's aware of the comments. He was.
you concurred with those comments?
I'm not sure if he concurred with the comments.
You
but
don't know?
He's aware of the comment.
Yeah, and he did confirm that his attendance at the meeting, but he's not here.
Okay. I understand that, that he had been working with staff? on
Yes,
this,
and if you go back to the comments, you'll see that we're also asking him to deal with TxDOT,
Okay.
to coordinate with TxDOT, so he still has that to do.
John, I'm sure the board understands that if we approve, subject to the following comments, the engineer has to comply with them. And if, we don't know if he's in agreement or not. Now, we have, and this is for the board, we have an option to approve or to deny or to table the item. So what are the wishes of the,
Mr. Chair, if you want, we could
Push
go
it
on
to
with the other
table.
items,
Push it.
and maybe the engineer will show up, save
Okay.
this item for the
I
end.
move to table.
you move to table?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to table the item by Commissioner Dovalina. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
There's a motion to table and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Time certain?
Time certain.
Time certain.
Aye.
Okay, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ayes have it. We're going to table the item, okay? Good. Now we're going to section 8. The consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Okay. It's 8A, preliminary consideration of the plat of Lot 10, Block 8, Embarcadero subdivision of Phase 10 into Lot 10A, Block 8, Embarcadero Phase 10. The intent is industrial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Farias Development. And care of Mr. Ben Puig, engineers Camacho Hernandez and Associates, proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this one lot development is M1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed replat. Comments from planning, water and utilities, and the proposed motion.
Okay. I have, is there any questions from the members of the board?
What is the proposed use other than commercial?
M1? Warehousing?
¿Dónde está? No lo vi.
The traffic is really bad there.
Yes.
I have, to the board members, I have a letter from Camacho Hernandez and Associates. I'm sure you have a copy of that. He's telling us that he had found the matters and have discussed the comment with the owner, but he's got no objection with the comments, so.
New location, a new location, it says, the purpose of this replat is to establish a new location for a drainage easement.
Por ahí pasa el arroyo.
The drainage report and drainage plans will be submitted to the one-stop shop.
So this isn't a platted piece of property, they're just moving an easement within the platted.
That's it? That's all it is?
That's it.
But what you need to understand is there's a creek there.
Mhm.
And you don't show it. And nobody makes comments about it.
Every department's gonna see this in a one-stop shop, even environmental. So if there is a creek there, they're gonna have to, take care of the creek issue.
Okay, so we have a letter from Camacho, and we have the motions is to approve or deny the preliminary consideration of the plat, the replat. So I'm gonna ask, what are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve,
Motion
subject to the following comments.
Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. It's approved. Now we're gonna move to agenda item 8B, which is the preliminary consideration of the replat of lots 3, 4, and 5, Block 1 in IND, Hachar's Industrial Park Phase 2, an unplotted 58.12 acre tract into Lot 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D Block 1, North Division, Hachar's Industrial Park Phase 2. The intent is industrial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Scannell Properties, engineer is KCI Technologies. Proposed use is industrial, and the zoning for this 4-lot development is M1. Location view, aerial view, street view, the plat and the proposed replat, comments from planning, traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Okay. Yes, sir, for the record.
Mr. Chairman, and commissioners and staff, for the record, Ivan Morales with KCI Technologies. I'm here to represent the applicant, Scannell Properties, and we concur with the comments that were provided to us.
Okay. Anybody at the board has a question for the engineer? No? I had a question myself real quick. I noticed that you're proposing on the plat, on the replat, you're proposing a road that doesn't have a name yet, and it's gonna connect to
Carriers Drive.
Where?
Northway. On the replat, Larry? That road, I just want to mention, I spoke to Mr. Navarro, and to Rafael, and I want to make sure that that street or that access in between the replat is actually built after Northway has been built, because otherwise the access, or actually the exiting of that area, commissioners, is gonna be problematic. That's, so you're aware of that, right?
Yes, no, we are aware with that. We've been in coordination with the engineer that's working with the Phase 3 plats, so we've been in coordination with that, and we concur with that comment you mentioned.
All right, thank
And
you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I think you'll be seeing that later in the agenda.
Yes, sir.
9A.
Yes.
The road that's been constructed that's currently blocked by TxDOT, when is it gonna be released?
We had a meeting with TxDOT today, and they still didn't have an answer. Are you talking about Carrier? Is that the one you're talking
I
about?
don't know what it's called, but I
It's
go
the
by
North
here every Saturday, so I see the red cones. And I see the acceleration and deceleration lanes all blocked.
So as far as we know from
In
TxDOT, they're still
proximity
looking
to
at
that,
that.
where is this?
Aerial view.
East of this.
It's located west of I-35.
What?
The location of the area is west of I-35, and it's just south of the Carriers Drive that's already been constructed
Okay.
in that area. So it doesn't show it in this aerial, but now it's been constructed with the Carriers Drive running along the northern part of this property.
And the developer is gonna pay for the cost of the road?
Yes.
Yes.
But there's nothing that you have that mentions that.
As far as the developer putting in the road.
Yes.
It's part of, we have a separate plat for, Carrier. So that's coming in separately. You'll be seeing that separate, but that is by the developer. And then you also have the street, the internal street of this particular replat, that'll be done by the developer. And then Northway Lane is also part of a plat that will be constructed by the developer. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
You good, Larry?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have a question for the engineer? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What are the wishes of this board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second? Got a second? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. The ayes have it.
I had previously abstained because at one time I worked for Verde Corporation and for the HR properties, but that was over 10 years ago, so I vote affirmative.
Okay, that will be noted. Okay, now we have item 8C, preliminary consideration of the plat of Cuatro Vientos East, Right Ranch subdivision, phase 10, commercial. The intent is commercial. That's the intent.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is 4V Holdings, engineer is Porras Nance Engineering, proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this 4-lot development is R1A. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed plat. Comments from planning. Traffic. And the proposed motion.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Nance.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, sir.
Wayne Nance with Porras Engineering. We agree with all the comments.
Okay. Anybody have a question for Mr. Nance?
Of course.
I have one, and I'll make it real quick. I noticed that it's gonna be, the access road is gonna be shared, and I noticed that it's along the, Loop 20, sir.
That's correct.
Now, on the notes, you still have to comply with certain, text dot, but just for information, the access will be from Loop 20, or is that gonna be from the access to the subdivision?
We'll apply to TxDOT to try and get a couple of driveway permits, but it'll be up to them. We'll probably have access from the side roads as well.
Okay.
And to answer anybody's concerns about access, though, we've already built, whenever we built the first phase of Right Ranch, we came out of it on the southern end, and we did an acceleration lane, which added an extra lane, all right? And then we came in north of there, and we did another entrance. We had to add a deceleration lane, which essentially connected them. So now what we have is what TxDOT calls a full auxiliary lane along this entire frontage. It's an extra lane in there for these driveway motions, very similar to what you'll see up on HEB Plus on North. I mean, when you have so many driveways, you eventually have a whole spare lane for that. So, we're gonna do whatever TxDOT tells us to do. We always know that any driveways and any interconnections at TxDOT require their concurrence. So we're very aware of that.
Okay. Anybody else have questions for Mr. Nance? Thank you, Mr. Nance.
Of course.
Okay. What are the wishes of this board?
So move subject to the conditions.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 8D, preliminary consideration of the A&M plat. The intent is industrial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Polaris Office Suite, engineers Daniel Gomez Engineering, proposed use is industrial, the zoning for this 1-lot development is AG. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed plat. Comments from planning? Water and utilities? And the proposed motion.
Can you put the aerial? The thing is that the B doesn't work here. You
Yeah.
can't see those.
Oh, that's true. We can get it.
No, we couldn't do it.
Up in the middle, yeah, right in the middle.
Good evening to, I'm Daniel Gomez, the engineer record for this project, and we concur with all of the comments.
Okay.
I just want to make an additional comment that we will be submitting the application for the voluntary annexation probably either next week or the following week, but we're working on it right now, so,
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Anybody has a
So
question
you
for Mr.
agree
Holmes?
to the annexation?
yes,
Okay.
we're working on it right now, so we're working,
Well, you either agree or you don't agree.
yes, we do agree.
All right. Okay, he agrees. What are the wishes of this board?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
So moved, subject to the conditions.
Okay, so I have a second. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right,
Yes, have it. Now we're going to eight E. Preliminary consider. You're good, you're good. Preliminary consideration of the plat of lots 1 and 2, block 1, the codes of, at Winfield subdivision phase 3. The intent is institutional.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Killam Development, engineer is Seca Engineering, proposed use is institutional. The zoning for this two-lot development is R1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed plat. Comments from planning and water and utilities. Comments from traffic safety. And the proposed motion.
Okay, who's gonna represent the engineer?
Good evening, Chairman, Commission, staff. Vince Martinez with Killam Development, and we concur with the comments.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for the engineer from the board?
What's your name, I'm sorry?
Vince Martinez?
Thank you.
No? Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Okay, if there's no questions, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Guys have it. 8F, preliminary consideration of the plat of lots 1 through 6, block 1, the case of D&J Alexander subdivision east into lot 1A, block 1, the case of D&J Alexander subdivision east, the intent is commercial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Irene De Farias. Engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this one-lot development is B3. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The plat and the proposed replat. Comments from planning. Traffic safety. And the proposed motion.
Okay. Mr. Villarreal?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Ricardo Villarreal, Topside Civil Group. I do have just a discussion on one of the comments by planning, and it's comment number 2, which prohibits the placement of driveways on Del Mar. A little background on this track, as probably everybody knows. It used to be a R1 designated zone. There was 5 lots there with a private roadway. So recently got rezoned from R1 to B3. So this is what's existing out there. There's an existing home that hasn't been completed with a internal private road with a cul-de-sac. So now the intent is to replat the 6 lots into 1 lot. I do have a preliminary site plan. There will still be some tweaking on here, but again, the intent is commercial. Let me make sure, yeah. So north is this way, this is Del Mar. So what we want to do is utilize an exit, a right-in, right-out off of Del Mar. I know the original residential zoning, probably a good idea to limit access off of Del Mar. You kind of don't want to intertwine a private road and six residential lots. But now that the use has changed from residential to commercial, we are asking that we do have, one driveway along Del Mar. We have pushed it furthest away from the intersection so that in case anybody wants to take a right, they don't queue back into the intersection. There is an existing median on Del Mar that does provide a right-in, right-out. So you can't take a left and kind of tangle yourself with westbound traffic. So that's basically the only thing that I'd like to say. We can kind of adjust that comment to limit one access off of Del Mar. I'm here to answer any questions as well.
When the zoning case came before the commission, there was an issue with a bus stop somewhere in that area. Are you gonna put your intersection away from that? Or?
Yes, sir. So you can kind of see the bus stop kind of almost at the center of the frontage along Del Mar. Our driveway is going to be along basically where the cul-de-sac's going to be. So we won't be impeding into the bus stop. Based off of this, as you can see, we've pushed it as furthest east as we can.
I can see you doing that. Now, that exit that you're talking about, that's a right-in, right-out only.
Correct, yes. The right-in, right-out, the median extends past our frontage on Del Mar.
Can you point to the corner on that aerial, the
Sí.
corner of the property? Right there, okay.
Yeah, no.
I've briefly discussed it with traffic.
El otro acceso es el de
And
atrás.
I don't know, I don't want
El
to
otro
put
acceso es el de acá atrás.
Penny on the spot, but,
That's why he's here.
kind of, yeah.
You would put the former traffic director on the spot.
No,
Good evening, Robert Pena, Traffic Safety. I discussed this briefly, and I don't have an issue with it.
Thank you, Mr. Peña. I just want to comment for the record, Mr. Villarreal, that the entrance needs to be wide enough to accommodate whatever traffic we're going to have there, because that's good. What they're building there is going to be good. But the biggest concern when the zoning was approved, and this is only for the record, Mr. Navarro and commissioners, is that the main access was not supposed to be from the Alexander Parkway. Actually, the main access would be from Del Mar. So now that I see a comment that planning is actually prohibiting to access from Del Mar, that kind of breaks down the purpose that was intended when we approved the zone change.
Well, he's just bringing in this design, so we're getting to see the design, so we like this design. We hadn't seen his design, he was still working on it. But now that we see it, and it's right in, right out, it works.
So planning is the one that was placing the comment number 2, so you're good if we deduct, if
Yes.
we eliminate that comment?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has a question for Mr. Villarreal? No? Okay.
Yeah, just add on what you're saying is that I think it's very important. You mentioned that the driveway to Del Mar is large enough for commercial to come in and out of, because we certainly wouldn't want them coming from the Alexander entrance, because then they'd have to loop around to get in and where at.
Correct. And the last thing we want also is the eastbound traffic on Del Mar having to turn into Alexander, take the U-turn, get into this commercial site. Now, one concern that we did have was with Mr. Peña that was just up here, is we also don't want through traffic to be using this as a bypass on the right lane. So we will probably be providing some traffic control within our site. Maybe not bridge 2 type of speed humps, but pretty close to kind of, not make it that enticing that it's going to be a shortcut for people.
So there is no entrance into, from Alexander Parkway? Is
There will be.
There will
We're
be.
leaving the existing entrance, for the people that are coming in from the Alexander development, so that they don't get on Del Mar and you don't saturate Del Mar further. But the people that we're worried about is, eastbound traffic on Del Mar and possibly, I'm sorry, wrong way, eastbound traffic on Del Mar and southbound traffic on Winfield.
Yeah.
Instead of going through and turning back around, just turn on Del Mar, which is 2 lanes, and then you're right in, right out. There shouldn't be any traffic there, as opposed to queuing up on the return on Alexander.
Ya me ubiqué. Yo decía, ¿por dónde
A
está?
ver, that's it.
Ya, ya me ubiqué. Es en donde están los 2 semáforos.
Sí.
Bueno, ¿en dónde está el traffic?
The,
Donde están los 2 semáforos esos, cuando vienes de Alexander, la escuela, ¿verdad? Es esa orilla.
Sí, donde está la casa.
Donde está la casa como abandonada,
Sí.
una blanca. Ok. Ese, ¿cómo se dice? Esos 2 semáforos están bien peligrosos ahí. Sí vi, ya entendí que extendiste la salida o la entrada hasta después de los semáforos, ¿verdad? También hay que revisar el semáforo cuando vas. Ahorita por mi casa también hubo un accidente. Cuando vas saliendo y el sol está puesto, no ves, no se ve el verde o el rojo. Así es. En la mañana no se ve. Entonces, sí hay que a lo mejor poner unos en los lados o algo para que no se cause ese problema.
Y ampliar la entrada
La entrada también,
sí, para que
un
no-
poquito para que no haya ese problema a la salida.
Se me hace que aquí en esta área o en este uso
Ujú.
vamos a pedir mínimo 30 de ancho.
Okay.
Allí se pueden poner 3.
3.
Pero nada más necesitamos 2,
Dos.
porque nada más te puedes meter
Hacia la
viniendo así al lado de
a la
Del Mar y
derecha.
luego saliendo a la derecha.
Sí.
Anybody else has a question for Mr. Herrera? Mr. Herrera, real quick, you had a question?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
westbound traffic has to go through Alexander and UE to go in, doesn't
Yes.
it?
Exactly.
And so obviously, ideally, we would love that left-bound turn lane, but in this case, it's not that's going to be an issue. It's the people that would leave. And that would just cause more of a traffic issue. So in this case, the median acts like its own traffic calming device.
Sí.
Real quick, actually, if I remember well, Mr. Herrera, when we spoke about the change of zoning, I think it was mentioned that even the medium, that the developer was gonna work with the medium and try to eliminate that medium to have access from Del Mar on both sides, okay? And I would like, Rafael, on that, I would like to go back to the comments when we changed the zoning.
Okay.
Because I understand that the medium was gonna be impacted and the cost would be absorbed by the developer. I could be wrong, okay, by the developer, but I think it was, what I'm concerned the most and what the community was concerned at that time, Mr. Villarreal, is the first responders, Mr. Dominguez, how are they gonna be coming in and out of that area? That's for fire department. If you can show them the plat that you
When
have.
this is brought to us, we'll do a full review on it.
Yes, sir.
And, I mean, I really don't think we should have any issues with it. The code requires a minimum of a 20-foot entrance.
Okay.
And then obviously there's no dead ends in here, so obviously we could come, I mean, we shouldn't have any issue.
We're
with
good?
it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, it looks fine. I don't foresee any problems with it.
All right, well, thanks a lot. So the motion would be to approve or deny, including to delete or remove,
Strike number 2.
yes, comment number 2. So, second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'm gonna ask a motion to move item 9C next. And I'm gonna go ahead and read on it. And the reason is that, I'm gonna abstain myself from voting on that item, so if there's a motion.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 9C, final consideration of the replat of lots 3 and 4, block 1751 Eastern Division into lots 3A, 3B, 3C, block 1751 Eastern Division. The intent is residential. That's,
We'll go ahead and, present it.
go ahead.
Este.
Yeah.
Final consideration. We'll see.
That would be, item 9C.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Profitex Investments Group, engineers Arriba Surveying, Engineering, and Construction. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 3-lot development is R2. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed replat. And the proposed motion.
Okay, so it's a final approval, so the motion is to approve or deny. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain from that vote.
Yes,
Okay, for the record. Okay, now, do I hear a motion to take all together
A, B, D.
item 9A, B, D, E, F, G, H, I, and J?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, approve, saying aye.
Aye.
Now, to approve
read them for the record.
all of them all together, again, 9A, B, D, E, G, F, G, H, I, and J.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you.
So moved. All right,
Second.
thank you.